Okay, welcome. This is Gentle Yoga for Back Care. Today we're going to start standing. Again, you always have the option of being seated in the chair on the couch or getting down to the floor with me. I try to do the verbal cues for the chair. Not everything translates well to the chair, but we do the best we can with what we got. So thank y'all for coming today. Again, I'm excited to teach this class for y'all. So I'm going to stand up, move this chair out of the way. Just know I'm going to come back up here to the front of the room near the end of the class when we do that gratitude practice, that guided rest and relaxation practice. You have the option of staying on the floor or in the chair. So I've got my chair close by because I use the chair to help me get down to the floor. I've got my yoga strap, I've got my block, I got my yoga mat, so we got it all kind of going on here today. So I said we're going to start standing today. So what I invite you to do is have the outsides of your feet be looking like number 11s. So what I have to do with one of my feet is kind of turn it in a little bit to make that happen. From here, what we're going to do is start with the breathing. So your hand low on the belly, below that belly button, and another hand above that or on your chest. And I want you to notice your chest, your belly rising as we breathe in, more so in the belly if you can. And as you exhale, everything kind of falling, contracting towards your spine. So a little soft bend in the knees, and let's breathe in, belly big, and then exhale, belly button towards the spine. Relax those shoulders now, y'all, okay? Breathe in, belly big, and exhale, belly button towards your spine. And again, inhale, belly big, exhale, belly button towards your spine. Very good. You know what? We're just going to do a little shaking here first. So kind of bend those knees, shake the arms. We're just kind of lubricating those ankles, those knees, those hips, those elbows, those wrists, just a little bit. And turn a little bit side to side. Now, if this makes you feel dizzy, have your head looking forward instead of turning side to side with the rest of your body. And then let's take it skyward. Flap it up. And then, again, kind of turn side to side here. Kind of clearing any energy blocks that we might have with this little shaking gong movement. Yes, it's yoga, but I also like to put a little Tai Chi in our yoga class. And then bend the elbows, flap the wrists up. It's good for carpal tunnel, any of those kind of restrictive, repetitive movements. And then let's spin the wrist, and we're still bending the knees. And reverse it. And just for grins, cup the hands, swing the arms, so we get those shoulder joints kind of nice and kind of a little bit of moving in that shoulder joint. And if you can, tap the shoulders, little extra elbow bend. Very good. Two more. 2 and 1. And just kind of let the arms settle down. Now from here, I have to reposition my feet once again. And here, arms out to the side of the body. So in this particular posture, the knees are softly bent, and we're going to squeeze behinds, the butt muscles. Okay, so squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. Last one. Squeeze and release. Now you may have noticed maybe one behind squeezes stronger than the other, or maybe they're the same. Just notice what you notice. Then from here, let's interlace the hands in front of us, and then push the hands away. Now you probably won't see this in the camera with mine because my hands will go off camera, but we're going to raise it up, 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 up. And you're going to go to as best you can, as comfortable as you can. Now soft bend in the knees. Maybe you can look where the fingers are. So you take your chin and lift to look upward. Now, if that makes you dizzy, don't do that, okay? Notice your range of motion, and then release it down. Now, we're going to take the heels together, feet out, okay? And then, a little soft bend in the knees. And once again, we're going to squeeze the behind. So here we go. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. Squeeze harder. Squeeze and release. 1 more. Squeeze and release. Now place your feet in a comfortable position. They don't necessarily have to do those number 11s this time. And then I'm going to come up to the camera. We're going to do that golfer's grip. That's where we fold the fingers into the pad of the hand, and we have this kind of little hitchhiker thumb. And then we have the top of the hand aligned with the forearm. So we don't have cocked wrists. We have it nice and aligned. So I'm going to step back for this next part. So again, this is part of postural alignment. I'm going to bring my feet a little wider on this one. So what we're going to do with the hands is bring the knuckles to the side of the temples. This feels and is strange, right? Again, all these can be seated, right? And they're going to bring it in. If your elbows can touch, great. If they can't, hold it here, hold it here, hold it here, and then out to the side. Let's do that again. Bring it to the center, hold, 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 and release. Let's do 2 more. Hold it to the center, hold, 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 and release. 1 more, really hold it to the center, woo, and release. Now bring it in, let's do this 10 times. In and out. So we're trying to release the upper body to allow the lower body to work better. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, woo, 2, and 1. Again, just kind of shake it out here. Little soft shake side to side. Beautiful. Now again, I'm going to place my feet this time where my toes are more in, my heels are a little bit out. And there's about a fist, maybe bigger fist distance apart between my feet, the front of my feet. We're going to go back to that golfer's grip. So golfer grip, your hands, and then do that letter W. So you're squeezing that upper back musculature. Now maybe you're doing one side, one arm at a time. Just depends on your stuff, right? Then extend those arms out into a letter T. Now I'm going to take my thumbs and point them towards you. This is arm circles with contracted upper back. We're drawing circles forward and back behind us. Again, feet firm into the floor, toes turned in, heels out. Woo! Again, these postural alignment movements are to help us ease back tension. You try to work up to 40. We're not doing 40 today. We're just doing a couple of more. 3, 2, and 1. Shoulder shrug up. Curve the shoulders to the back of the room. Curve the shoulders to the front of the room. Again, to the back of the room, to the front of the room. 1 more. To the back of the room. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. To the front of the room. Now, clap the hands, just kind of rub into the hands because we kind of lose that muscle memory a little bit with that golfer's grip. But we've got to do it 1 more time. So again, fold those fingers into the pad of the hands, thumb sticking out, squeeze those shoulders. So we're going back to that letter W, feet firm into the floor. Again, toes in, heels out. Extend those arms out into a letter T. Now we had the thumbs forward before. Thumbs up, thumbs to the back of the room. Ooh, spicy. Draw circles behind you and forward with squeezy shoulders. You may notice this little oscillation with the upper body, the lower body. Notice what you notice. I notice lots of tension happening in my neck. So I'm just trying to breathe here. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Release the feet, and then once again, just kind of shake a little bit here. Shaky, shaky. So why are we doing this? Okay, so a lot of folks, when they walk, because they don't have their behind turned on, they tend to walk with feet turned out to the side. So notice, you may be noticing people walking this way with their feet turned out to the side. That means several or just one particular muscle is not being activated. So we're trying to notice what's going on here. So let's once again bring our feet back into that parallel stance. The outside of the feet, again, 1 foot may be turned in a little bit to help facilitate that. And then once again, squeeze your behind and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Last one. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze and release. Now firm feet into the floor, soft bend in the knees. Interlace the fingers once again in front of you. Push the palms away. And then with straight arms, raise it up, 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 up. Maybe some more, maybe some more. And then really push the hands to the top of the room. If it's available, take your head and look where the top of the hands are. You should have noticed a little bit of increase of range of motion. Hopefully, maybe, maybe not. Just depends. and release it down and release it down. So when we squeeze the buttocks that second time, you may have noticed you're able to squeeze more. Maybe the weaker side was squeezing as much as the stronger side. Maybe it was still uneven, but just kind of notice what you noticed. All right, that's it for that section. I just wanted you all to have a little bit more body awareness about, are your behind muscles turned on? Again, if they aren't, that can lead to more back challenges. So we're going to come down to our yoga mat. Now I use my chair to get down to the floor because I have a spicy back, but doing those posture alignment exercises also helps me with my back challenges. And let's see, I'm going to tip over. And I also have a yoga blanket. I use that for sitting on the floor, so just kind of know that some of the stuff that I have in the room is not like required, but they're like good additions to have. So we're going to start in constructive rest pose. If you're sitting on the chair, make sure you're not in the back of the chair. You're more towards the front of the chair. In fact, I'm going to take that blanket off because I'll use that in our portion of our class if we get to it. So we're going to lay on our backs. Woo! So constructive rest pose. If you're one of these people that aren't getting down to the floor today, that's okay. You can do this on your couch, on your bed. But this also helps to release tension in the spine. If you can do this about 5 to 15 minutes. Not right now, because we're doing the class, but just kind of remember this pose right here. Now this does not feel good in my body. So I have to grab my wrist, pull my shoulder up and away, and then I do the same with the other side because I had that scoliosis. And then that makes it feel a little bit better in my body. And then sometimes, again, where my hips are laying down on the floor does not feel well in my body. So I walk my feet towards my behind and I raise up and I re-roll my spine down to make it feel better for me. From here, we're going to do what's called notice pose. I want you to extend your legs out towards the corners of your yoga mat and extend them out if you're sitting on the chair and just kind of notice what's going on. So I feel lots of tension in my kind of hip bone area, and then where my right shoulder is more firm into the floor versus my left, and then some stuff going on with my calves. So just kind of notice what you notice, okay? Contract your belly button towards your spine, bring a foot gently back onto the yoga mat, and then the other. First off, we're going to, well, we already done one, it's called constructive rest pose, but next we're going to do windshield wipers. I'm going to get my yoga block close by because I might need it on this pose. Who knows? We're going to take one leg and drop it out to the side. Now if you're seated, you can stand your feet on your block to allow a leg to drop out to the side. So what I typically do on this side is I put the yoga block underneath to rest my leg weight on that yoga block. And then I'm going to take the top leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. So we have a low lumbar twist happening here. Might be spicy. Sometimes what I do is I take my thumb or my heel of my hand and press into that top side where it feels a little spicy, a little trigger point, a little kind of counter pressure. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it does not. Now, contract your belly button towards your spine, bring your leg back to the center, bring the other leg back to the center, and you're back in constructive rest pose. Let's do the other sides. I don't need the block on the other side. I just know that about me. But we're going to drop the other leg out to the side, and then take that top leg, drop it towards that bottom leg. And again, that behind may be coming off the yoga mat. You may notice that little low lumbar twist. Again, you can take your heel of the hand if you're feeling extra stuff going on. Press into a hip bone or a muscle that may be giving you a little kind of extra sensation. Woo! And then contract your belly button towards your spine. Bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Let's do the windshield wiper again. So drop your first side back on down, and I don't need it the second time we go around that yoga block, and drop that other leg towards the bottom leg. And I'm twisting a little bit more. Notice if you're twisting a little bit more. You might be, yeah? Contract that belly button, bring the leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center, and let's do the second side of the windshield wiper. So drop the leg out to the side, kind of hang out there for a second, and then take that top leg, invite it to go towards the bottom leg. Woo! I keep my feet on the yoga mat. I don't have my hips stacked, so I'm just letting whatever natural movement happen here. And so this, I'm already going a little bit deeper into the posture. It's a good or bad thing, I don't know. Contract your belly button, bring that leg back to the center, then the other. Grab your yoga strap. Now if you don't have the gear today, that's okay. You can do these postures without the gear, but you may want to look at the video once you get the gear and, compare. What did it feel like without the gear compared to using the gear? You'll find that the gear is really supplemental. So we're going to take the strap into the bottom of the foot, whether you're seated, whether you're laying here on your back. And if you're seated, you're resting on the back of the heel. And so for me, I feel pretty tight in the back of the leg, that hamstring on this side today. So it's more far away from my body than more in towards my body. Again, I'm staying away from the ouch, the pain, okay? I'm trying to at least. From here, we're going to do what's called big toe hold. We're vigorously contracting our muscles to help stimulate bone growth. So from here, I'm going to take my yoga strap, pull on it, and then I'm going to take my foot, push into that yoga strap. So I've got a push-pull kind of feeling going on. When this happens, that low back is firmly pushed into the floor. Hopefully it's an okay feeling. And then sometimes this is too much for folks with their grip strength. So you may want to bring your hands up the strap and wrap your wrists around the strap. And still, you're pushing and pulling into the yoga strap. So when you contract huge muscle groups and hold the position at least 30 seconds to a minute, 12 seconds, the contraction of the muscles stimulates bone growth. So this is actually a bone building exercise. Plus, it gets into issues of easing back challenges. Yay. So this other foot, we're going to tap, tap, tap the other foot. Tap, tap, tap. And then drop the knee out to the side, kind of like a windshield wiper. Because we're going to take this sky leg, the leg that's in the sky, drop it out to the side. So we got big toe hold, leg out to the side. Now re-engage, push into that strap, pull that strap. Woo! And breathe. Let's not forget to breathe. If you're in a spicy yoga posture, you can do one of two things, or maybe three things. You would, number one, return your attention to your breath. Listen to your breath as it goes in through the tips of the nostrils and out through the nostrils. See if that helps you stay in the posture. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That might be a key thing to let you know maybe to ease off in the pose and maybe back off a little bit or come out of the pose entirely. So again, kind of feel what's going on with your body. From here, contract the belly button. Bring the leg back to the center. Let's be a little fancy. Let's bring the other foot next to that foot and switch the feet. Okay, that's my definition of fancy. I know, it's not too much, huh? And then you're going to pull on that strap and push into that strap. Woo! Notice what you notice here. If you need to bend the knee a little bit, keep bending it, but surely bend, flex that heel, toes towards you. Line up the top of the foot with the shin, the knee. Don't have the foot flaring out to the side. Again, maybe your hands are way up here on the strap. Maybe they're more down with your back of your arms on the floor, or maybe you're wrapping your hands around that strap to facilitate a better grip hold. We're trying to stay in the pose at least 30 seconds before we move on to the next 30-second hold. So here we go. What is that? That's usually 5 to 6 breaths, because typically we breathe anywhere from 12 to 16 breaths per minute, depending on you, yeah? So again, let's stay here. Breathe in and out. Listen to that breath going in and out. All right, with that other foot, let's tap, tap, tap. Introduce that little bit of vibrational energy here. Tap, 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 tap. And then take the foot or knee out to the side for that half of a windshield wiper. The leg that's in the sky, let's take it out to the side. Now I've got my wall here, but that's probably about a good place for me to stop anyway. I have on my wall here all the different martial art postures I do in the Korean martial arts that I do. That's one of the reasons I was invited up to Rochester a couple weeks ago for that breathing study, and I got that brain scan for measuring my breathing ability, for measuring if I had a good cerebral spinal fluid flow with the breath. And that's how you get rid of waste in the brain. It's usually through REM sleep, but a lot of us don't get good sleep at all. So we're not effectively getting rid of the waste that accumulates in our brain. And we only get rid of it when we sleep at night or do the specific lower belly breathing that I've been trained in. Okay, from here, contract the belly button, bring the leg back to the center, bring the other leg back to the center, and release the strap. You know what? Take the strap out to the side. Just grins here. Clap your hands. Clap them again. And then let's kind of rub some circulation back into the hands. Oh, I love it. Those of you that are seated on the chair, you may want to keep your yoga strap because we're going to be doing knee to chest posture next. Or if you're laying here on your back, you may want to have the strap along the bottom of the foot. But I'm going to demonstrate it without the strap today. So I'm going to invite the knee in towards my chest. And what I'm trying to notice here is how far comfortable is that hip crease, is that leg into my hip crease, or is it into my side torso or my low ribs? Notice what you notice. Again, there's no right or wrong. You're just comparing left side versus right. And then from here, we're going to breathe in, expand the belly, and then extend the leg out with a contracted belly button. Woo! And then inhale, knee into chest. Exhale, leg out. So we're coordinating the breath with the movement. That's kind of a meditative process that we go through. It also helps to lower your cortisol, which is that stress hormone linked to increased belly fat. Woo! And I'm feeling some snap, crackle, pops going on here in my hips, a little bit in my menisci, whatever they're called. And if you have that strap along the bottom of the foot, and what I like about that is sometimes I go a little bit more far away, but I've got that strap there to invite it back in. I'm not really forcing it, but I'm giving it a little bit of guidance. So I go a little bit lower, increase my range of motion. I get to hear my hips pop a little bit more, okay? Is what the truth is on this one. Again, movement is lotion for those joints, those knees, those ankles, those hips. We already did a lot when we did the standing stuff at the very beginning of class. So this video is going to be a keeper. You're going to want to go back to this video because we've got a little bit of different variety going on in today's class. 2 more. And the last one. Woo! And then from here, take the strap off if you're using the strap. Keep the knee into the chest. If you're seated, you may want to interlace the fingers on top of the shin or back behind the knee pit. And we're going to point and flex. Ankle isolation is great, again, because, you know, we got to work from the ground up to help things be a little bit better in our bodies. This also helps us with walking ability. And then we're going to look at our foot. Well, I can't see my foot, but I imagine I can. And I draw a circle inward. Ooh, snap, crackle, pops are happening. And then reverse, go the other way. Oh my. My reverse is never the same shape as the original direction. It's just kind of clunky here. And then release that, you know, shake the leg first. Got to get some shaking going on. And release that leg down to the floor. We got to do all that same stuff on the other side. So what was the first one? Oh, knee into chest. Yeah, because we already did the big toe hold on this side. Now, notice on this side, is this more in towards your body? So this one's into my side waist compared to the other one was in my hip crease. So notice what you notice, yeah? And then we're going to be doing knee to chest, extend the leg out. So first, we breathe in, belly gets big, and then contract that belly button, extend that leg out. Whew. Notice where it is comfortable hanging out in the air. And then inhale, knee into chest. And exhale, leg out. Again, if you want to put the strap along the bottom of the foot, if you want to go a little bit more past your natural range of motion, please do so. Again, use the strap if you're seated, if this is, you know, not easy to do, or hands back behind the knee if you're seated. That also helps too. It's going to feel a little bit more odd seated on the chair because you're working gravity a whole lot different than lying on your back. So this is good stuff to do laying in the bed before you go to bed or right when you get up. Notice what you notice. Are the knees talking? Are the hips talking on this side? Maybe. Woo! Yeah, I can feel a little crinkly stuff happening in my knee today. And nothing on the hip on this side. So again, you're going to notice, things are different or similar, or a little different, or a little similar. One of those, right? Let's do one more. And invite the knee into the chest. Again, hands can be back behind the knee pit or interlace fingers on the shin. And let's point and flex. Or in my case, snap, crackle, pop, point and flex. You know, if you wear, I wore steel-toe shoes in my former career, and so my feet were kind of cramped up in my work boot. And so, you know, I definitely noticed stuff with my feet because of those steel-toe shoes, and they were quite heavy also. Yeah. Okay, now from here, let's draw a circle inward. So draw a circle inward with your ankle, and you may be noticing some stiffness going on in the top of the foot, the ankle bone, the shin. And reverse, go the other way. Oof. This one's quite noisy. And then relax and release that foot down to the floor. From here, again, let's do notice pose. Extend your legs out towards the corners of the yoga mat. So again, this class alternates with chair tai chi. And then just maybe you'll wiggle your feet, maybe wiggle your hips, wiggle your shoulders, and then just kind of notice what you notice. You might feel a little bit more into the yoga mat, might feel a little bit more released or not. Again, notice what you notice today. Very good. So we're going to do several more poses here on our back. So I want to invite you to find your yoga block. We're going to go back, feet back onto the floor. You're going to bring your yoga block in between your legs, whether you're seated, whether you're here on your back. And I'm going to walk my feet in until I feel a little inner thigh contraction. So again, strengthening the hip complex with some of these moves. And again, this, you know, we do some of this in our fall prevention yoga too, but this is just a different way to do the same stuff. So from here, we're going to go back into that golfer's grip. We're going to do letter T arms and then overhead extension as we articulate, contract the lower body. So fold the fingers into the pads of the hands, have those thumbs sticking out, and then have your arms out here in front of you as if you're flying in the air. So you can kind of wiggle your arms a little bit. Then we're going to bend the elbows and then have the forearms parallel to the floor if you're seated, and then the back of the arms on the ground if you're laying on your back. Now I'm going to walk my feet in a little bit more so I get a good inner thigh contraction going on here. So from here, we're going to squeeze into the shoulders. So squeeze into the shoulders, into the floor if you're on your back, and release. Squeeze and release. Hold that golfer's grip. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze, 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 and release. Last one. Squeeze the block. Squeeze your shoulders and release. Hands in front of your chest. Clap your hands. Woo! Get some feeling going on here. Let me move my yoga strap out of the way. From here, let's interlace the fingers, squeezy palms. If you're laying on your back, shoulders down. If you're here in front, sitting on the chair, super straight arms. Well, super straight whether you're laying on your back or on the chair. Re-squeeze your block very slowly with a contracted belly button. Let's bring the arms up overhead slowly, not fastly, slowly. Again, you're keeping the arms straight as much as you can, as best you can. And there's going to be a natural stopping point. And you're going to stop, and you're going to notice where that is. Really contract that belly button towards the spine. If you're laying on your back, maybe tilt your pelvis towards your ribs. Very good. From here, squeezy hands, squeezy block, belly button squeeze. Slowly bring it from overhead back in front of your chest. Going slow. Release the hands, clap the hands. Oh my gosh. A little bit of feeling going on there. Yeah. Very good. Go back to that golfer's grip. Oh, I'm finally able to bring my fingers down. Some of my fingers don't go down. Turn the thumbs towards the center, squeeze the block. Bend the elbows, back of the arms on the floor, parallel, forearms to the floor if you're seated. Here we go. Squeeze the shoulders, squeeze into the floor, and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze the block also, and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. 1 more. Squeeze and release. Hands in front of you, clap. Woo! Rub some circulation back in after that golfer's grip. Interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms, bring those shoulders down, super straight arms. Make the elbows look the same. Again, nice firm squeeze of the yoga block. Whew, belly button tight. Here we go. Bring the arms up overhead. Now, it's a slow motion movement. Don't go to the spicy area. Try to stay away from spice. One shoulder may be stopping you. Just know that. Ooh, I'm able to go a little bit deeper in my range of motion. I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. I'm not quite touching the floor with my thumbs. I don't know if I'll make it today. Who knows? We're going to do one more set. So here we go. Squeeze the palms, super straight arms. Bring the hands back in front of your chest. You're still constantly squeezing that yoga block. Now, it's not at 100%, but it's a nice, good squeeze. Release the hands, clap the hands. Woo! Rub some circulation because we got to go back and do that golfer's grip. Yay! Or maybe not yay. Probably not yay. So fold those fingers. All right, get those thumbs going on. Turn the thumbs to the center of the body. And here we go. Bend the elbows. Again, letter T. You look like a half of a letter T if someone were looking at you. So here we go. A constant squeeze of the block, and we're going to squeeze the shoulders. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. 1 more. Squeeze and release. Hands in front of you. Clap. Woo. Rub those hands. Last time for that overhead extension. Yay. So interlace those fingers, squeezy palms, shoulders down, elbows look the same. Yep, yep, yep. Here we go. Belly button tight. This is harder to do seated on the chair than laying on your back. Just know that, okay? So those of you that are doing the chair versions, whew, I applaud you, okay? Keep breathing. Get to your stopping, wiggle your thumbs. Ooh, I'm able to touch the floor with one thumb. Just barely, though. Sometimes I'm able to bring the knuckles down. Not happening today, but that's okay. Squeeze those palms, belly button tight. Here we go. Very strange. Bring it back to, I'm shaking on this one. Wow. Release the hands once you get in front of your chest. Clap those hands. Release the block. Yay. And then let's do a windshield wiper, shall we? So drop one knee out to the side, take the other leg towards that. Ooh, man, my behind's really off the ground on that one. Just notice what you notice. Contract that belly button, top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Other side, here we go. Drop it out to the side. Ooh, that feels interesting. Take that top leg, drop it towards that bottom leg, and most of my behind's off the yoga mat on this one. So I've increased my range of motion in that low lumbar area. So that's a good thing for me. Take the leg back to the center, then the other one. Let's do notice pose, shall we? We shall. So extend the legs. Here we go. Hop it. Get it down there towards the edge of your yoga mat and do the other one. It takes a little bit more time on that other one for me. Wiggle those feet, wiggle the hips, wiggle the shoulders, and just kind of get everything nice and settled. Oh man, I feel really connected to the floor on this one. Again, notice what you notice. It should be a little different than the first one, most definitely. Okay, next is block bridge. So slide a foot on the yoga mat, then the other, find your yoga block. Now, this is number one reason for having a yoga block at home, for doing this really nice back release. If you don't have a block today, it's okay. Or if it's spicy, you can just be on your back, all right? And put this in the back of your chair. It's not going to be as effective, though. You may want to go over to the couch and do this one, okay, with your yoga block. So I'm going to raise up. I either use my hand to raise me up or my own muscular strength to slide that yoga block to rest my booty on my yoga block. And then I feel really crunchy here, so I kind of walk my shoulders a little bit away. Woo! So I got to find my sweet spot, whatever that is. And again, make some adjustments here. So I invite you to bring a leg in the air and shake it. Again, we're always keeping stuff between the easy and ouch. If it's spicy, return the attention to the breath. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And then shake it side to side. This feels weird in my body, but I know I gotta not only shake up and down, but side to side. And again, up and down. And side to side. Legs in the air, great for reducing varicose veins, lessening swelling and edema. Shake, shake, shake. And let's go ahead and bring that leg down. You may notice some tingling going on. Maybe. Bring the other leg up. Here we go. Shake, shake, shake. And I'm breathing in and out through that nose. I may notice a little, because, I'm kind of shaking the body there. And side to side. Again, that feels weird to me. I say that every time. I'm going to keep saying it. And shake, shake, shake. You know what? Maybe you grab your yoga block or hands down beside the body and bring the other leg in the air. You may have to contract your abdominals to make that happen. Shake it, shake it, shake, shake. And then wiggle. And then shake, shake, shake again. I just kind of laugh because it feels weird in my body, okay? And shake it side to side once again. Woo! And shake. And bring a leg down. Ooh, notice that tingling? Maybe. Belly button tight. Bring the other one down. Okay, here's where you realize, wow, this pose is pretty special. You're going to lift up, bring that yoga block out, and then roll your spine down. Notice what you notice. There should be a little difference there. Close to yummy is what I like to call this. And then again, let's do notice pose. Extend the leg all the way down. And then the other one. Wiggle those feet, wiggle those hips, wiggle those shoulders. Woo! Now I can just go ahead and take my nap right here. But we still have work to do. Of course we do, right? All right, so again, just kind of experience what you're experiencing here. Again, seated on a chair, this is not going to be as significant as it is here lying on your back. Here we go. Contract that belly button towards the spine. Slide the foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. Now what I do, because I have SI joint dysfunction, I lift up first, then I turn, because otherwise it's like lots of pain. And I roll over onto my side. I have my hand that's here in front of my chest, and I'm going to extend my leg. Goodness. And sometimes I have to rest here because I get a little dizzy. So, you do you. And then we're going to come up to seated. Now, you may be wanting to be seated on the chair or on your yoga blanket. So this class that I teach, we kind of do the same things because these are the effective yoga poses for easing back challenges. So, but we kind of mix it up a little bit. I'm going to sit on the edge of my yoga blanket because I do not like sitting on the floor. It doesn't feel good in my body. And you know what? I got to grab my block because the knee is giving me some spice today. I usually have 2 blocks, but I don't know why I never bring that second block. So I can rest the leg on the yoga block and kind of tilt my pelvis a little forward. Can't really see this. I'm wearing black on black today, but that's okay. We're doing what we can. Woo! Let's do unsupported twists. We're going to go back to that letter W, but with regular hands here. We're going to breathe in, belly big. And as we exhale, we contract that belly button towards the spine, and we turn over to one side. Stay here, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, back to the center. And then release your arms down. Just kind of shrug those shoulders. That's a little lymphatic drainage that we can do with a little shoulder shrug, a little shimmy, I guess you call it. And let's go back to squeezy shoulders, letter W, arms. Very good. We're going to go over to the other side. But first we breathe in, expand the belly, and the exhale, turn over to the side. Stay here, breathe in, exhale back to the center, and release. We're going to do some standing postures, and we're going to do our oppositional reach standing today. So I'm going to move my yoga block out to the side, move that yoga blanket. I use the chair to come up, so you're going to come up maybe a different way, but I transition onto my hands and knees, and then I take a foot up in between my hands, curl that back toe, and usually I have hands on either side on the floor, but I use the chair. Curl that back toe, lift that knee, hop, walk the foot towards the other foot, hands on my hips, hinge up. So I don't normally roll up, I hinge from the hips instead. And sometimes that's dizzy business. So maybe feet a little wide, hands to heart center, chin towards the chest, breathe in and breathe out. And again, inhaling and exhaling. Now, I didn't say that we needed a chair in class today, but when we do oppositional reach, you may want to use a wall or something close by, or maybe you don't need the chair, yeah? So when I do oppositional reach standing, let's see, I'll put a hand on the wall, and whatever hand I'll have on the wall, I'll take that opposite foot out, and I'll lift my heel, and I'll take the other hand on the wall and lift the other opposite hand for that oppositional reach. Or hand on the chair, step a leg back, lift that leg, lift that opposite arm. So we're activating the multifidi muscle, the deepest held muscle in our back. When it goes to fat, it recruits other muscles to do its work, and you cause back pain. And release. Let's do a standing cat posture. Let's kind of bring the hands in front of us and curve the spine to the back of the room. So that's kind of a counter pose for that back bend that we just did in that standing spinal balance, or standing bird dog. And release. Let's do the other side. So it's going to be taking the other foot back and lifting the foot off the ground. Now again, I can't do this without a wall or a chair. Opposite hand up, because I got wiggly feet. It's opposite arm and leg seated on the chair. And release. Let's do that standing cat pose. So interlace the fingers, push the hands away, curve the spine to the back of the room. Ooh, that feels nice. And release. All right, so from here, let's do some warrior poses. We're going to get that side lateral flexion in there with our warrior pose today. You can do this seated. Seated would be you're sitting on that yoga chair. I'm calling it a yoga chair. Step a leg out, and we naturally turn to the center, but turn out over the leg in front of you, and you're pressing firmly into the feet, okay? So this is one of your cues. You're not just having the feet be on the floor, that's pressing vigorously into the floor. All right, those of us on the yoga mat, step your feet wide, and again, I use a chair. Then I lift my heel, turn my foot towards the short end of the yoga mat, and bend my knee towards that short end of the yoga mat. And I check to see, knee aligned with the foot, foot aligned with the knee, hips towards the front of the room as best I can, or, you know, alongside that long end of the yoga mat. Now, again, contract those shoulders, bend that knee, whether you're seated, whether you're standing, contract those shoulders. Keep those shoulders contracted as you extend those arms out into a letter T. Now you can stay here with your head, you know, aligned with your chest, or turn your head to look over that bent knee side. So you're sending out those spider webs opposite ends of the room as you have those squeezy shoulders. We're going to shift this into side lateral flexion or reverse warrior. Hand could be on the chair, down here on the seat if you're standing, or hand on the hip. You do the palm up and you reach out and up into the air. Again, you can hang onto the chair, hip, or hand down the leg for that reverse warrior. Feet firm into the floor no matter what. And then float the arm down, straighten that leg, pivot the foot, bring your leg over to the other side of the seated one, and we're going to do that warrior 2 on the other side with that reverse warrior, that side lateral flexion. So step those feet out, heel toe out a little bit more, lift the heel, turn the foot, bend that knee. Very good. Again, check that knee, foot alignment, hips parallel to the long end of the yoga mat. Go back to that letter W, feet firm into the floor like it's very viciously pressed into the floor. And extend those arms out into a letter T. Very good. Whew. Option, keep your head here, or turn your head to look over that bent knee side. Again, send out those little spider webs through your fingers as you vigorously squeeze those shoulders, feet firm into the floor. Now, let's shift this into reverse warrior. Hand on the hip, hand on the chair, palm up, reach forward, bend that knee a little bit, and then scoop it up into the sky. Again, you can hang on to the chair, hand down the leg, eyes can look where the hand is or look where the elbow is. Feet very firm, and release it down. Very good. Let's turn the foot and walk it in. Let's do a little shake here. Very good. So we haven't done this one in a while. It's chair pose. So again, it's for bone building. It's for noticing where your strength or isn't. I'm going to stand behind the chair to do chair. Again, I'm going to go back to that parallel feet, and I brought my feet in about 2 fist distances apart, and we'll do an inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Now we're vigorously pressing our feet into the floor, whether we're seated or standing. And exhale, bend the knees, lean forward on your chair, Bent elbows, bent knees. Try not to have the knees drop in, okay? Inhaling, stand up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Sit down into the chair pose. Stick your booty out. Again, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. You're doing the seated, you're hinging forward like you're getting ready to come off the chair. And again, inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bend the elbows, bend the knees. Stay here, stay here. Take the hands to heart center. You're vigorously pressing to the feet. And then turn over to one side, twist over to one side, and back to the center. Twist over to the other side, and back to the center. And then inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring the hands to heart center. Notice the heart rate may have gone up. From here, we're going to come back down to the yoga mat, softly, gently, or stay seated in the chair. You get to choose here. I'm going to come back down to the yoga mat. And we're going to go back into constructive rest posture. So lay on your back, sit nice and tall in the chair if you're seated today. We'll do a windshield wiper once again. So drop a knee out to the side. Drop the other knee towards that one. Notice your twist of the low back. Notice where it's at this moment. Contract that belly button towards the spine. Bring the leg back to the center, the other leg back to the center. Let's do the other side. So drop the leg out to the side, and then the other one towards that bottom leg. And again, notice what's going on here. Bring the leg back to the center, then the other one. And then from here, let's do notice pose. Extend those legs. Now sometimes what I'll take that yoga strap and cover my eyes with the yoga strap if I don't have something to cover up, if I have a light on in the room. You can stay here during the guided rest relaxation, arms out to the side, or maybe you bend at the elbows, hands resting on the torso. Or you can come up to a seated place or have legs on the chair. That's often a very nice thing to do. But I'm going to go ahead and come up to the front of the room. So y'all just get comfortable as I come up to the front of the room to start our guided rest and relaxation practice. So again, I invite you to get a little bit more comfortable. It might mean wiggling those shoulders, shaking that leg, maybe shifting to a different position. It's always an option available to you. Also, you can get up and move around a little bit. And just notice your breath. Notice that you are breathing. Don't change it in any way. Just notice, what does it feel like here to breathe in? And what does it feel like here to breathe out? Notice the rise and fall of the body as you inhale and as you exhale. So part of the Veterans Yoga Project protocol is to do breathing, mindful movement, movement with meditation or a meditation practice, that guided rest, relaxation, and then that gratitude practice. We try to bring that all in the classes that we teach. So we'll be doing what is called a non-sleep deep rest meditation today. So basically, you just listen to my voice, and if you need to move, please do so. Some folks, are not able to be still. So from here, I'm going to name different places in the body, and I invite you to bring your attention, your awareness to these different places in the body, and then we move on to different places. So this helps to reduce our anxiety, to lessen our monkey mind, those repetitive thoughts, because we're paying attention to my voice, not being in the present, not being in the past, we're here in the now. So I invite you to pay attention to your right hand thumb. So you'll say right hand thumb in your brain, you'll imagine a right hand thumb, and then internally you'll shift your attention to that right hand thumb, whether your eyes are open or closed. But I invite you to be a little bit still if you can. Now, right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Shift your attention to the lower right arm, elbow, upper arm, the right shoulder, the back side of the upper back, the right mid back, the low mid-back, the low right back. Notice the back of the right leg, back of the knee, calf, the sole of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe. Notice that right pinky toe. And then let's shift our attention to the top of the right foot, shin. Notice that right knee joint, the upper right leg, right hip, right side waist, right side chest. And then everything that's on the right side, notice everything on the right side. Now let's shift everything over to that left side. Going from that right side to the left, notice that left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and the left pinky finger. Notice the top of the left hand, forearm, the left elbow, upper arm, that left shoulder, and then the back side of the upper back on that left side, and the left middle side, and the left hip, back of the left leg, back of the knee, calf, the sole of the left foot. And again, bring all that attention to your left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe. And then shift all your attention to that left pinky toe. From here, notice the top of the left foot, shin, left knee, upper left leg, left hip, left side waist, left side chest. And let's shift our attention now to our navel center. Notice your navel center. Let's now shift your attention to your heart center. Notice your heart center. And let's shift our attention to the base of your throat center. Good. From here, notice your chin, your jawline, the lower lip, the upper lip, the right nostril, the left nostril. Notice that right eye, the left eye, the forehead, and then the very crown of your head. And then from here, from the very crown of the head, imagine healing light entering in through the top of the head, and it's coming all the way from the top of the head down to the tips of the toes. It's saturating every cell of your body with that healing bright light. It's getting into every bone, every organ, every layer of our skin, getting brighter and brighter as it works. Breathe in that light, breathe in that healing, see it, feel it everywhere that you need it. Very good. And now I invite you to come back into the now, back into the present moment. So let's wiggle those fingers, those wrists, those toes, those ankles. If you're lying on your back, bring the knees into the chest, and let's just kind of do a little side-to-side movement or little knee circles. If you're seated, bring the knees wide and do those upper body circles, just to bring a little bit of motion back into the body. And then let's reverse that. Go the other way. Do those knees the other direction. If you're laying on the floor now, let's come back to being still. Roll over onto one side and gently push up into a seated place. Everybody join me here to heart center, where the hands are either stacked or hands together as you're coming back to seated, wherever your seated is. Let's think about one thing that we might be grateful for today, or maybe an idea of gratitude. And again, we're dropping our chin towards our chest just in gratitude of showing up today. I appreciate your all's dedication, determination, and discipline and that responsibility for signing up for classes and for showing up, or maybe watching a video recording later. I appreciate y'all, doing this here on Veterans Yoga Project. Thank you. Again, with that, whatever you're grateful for in your heart center, and you may either keep your chin towards your chest or gaze your eyes forward, open or closed, as we say our traditional sayings to end the yoga class today. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the strength, the peace, and that understanding and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me appreciates the bright light in you. So this concludes our practice of gentle yoga for back care. Let me stop the recording.